Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Bacall to Arms, and with me today to discuss this one are my good friends Austin Kelly and FoxinaFix. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi guys.
So this is Bacall to Arms, released in 1946. It's the 479th in the series, and it's directed by nobody according to this cartoon, but we will actually get into that very shortly. And you can find this cartoon on the Looney Tunes Gone Collection Volume 5 DVD set, and I'll have a link below for that set.
It's even better when you help.
Now, in case you haven't seen this one, and there's probably a good chance you haven't, all that really happens is that you have a bunch of characters watching a movie in a theatre, including a Tex Avery-esque wolf, and they're mainly there to watch Bogey Go-Karts and Laurie Bacall's new film To Have and Have Not, or in this case, To Have.
Anybody got a light?
What you're about to see is a re-edited version of the audio commentary I did that I had to take down due to a request by Warner Brothers Legal. My good friend Blue Genocide helped re-edit it, and I've added some new bits as well. And he's also thrown in a little shout out to his friend Prower in this one, so grab some popcorn and enjoy.
Just pucker your lips together and blow like this.
This cartoon doesn't have directorial credit, story credit, or even voice acting credit. This cartoon starts off pretty well, I think. Around the half point, I think it gets really choppy. I even think when Clampett eventually saw this cartoon years later, he would have said something around the lines of, "I would have never done it like this" or something. I believe I've heard that story.
And Sheridan, who's referenced here in a rather funny joke with the selected shorts, haha, right? She was basically one of the most attractive women that, when surveyed, men said, yeah, they would definitely love to have married her, and she was known as the Oomph Girl. And if you watch Tex Avery's Hollywood Steps Out, she's the one that goes oomph, oomph. So the title refers to Lauren Bacall, who's right here, having catch that flame lighter thing, but she's in the film with Humphrey Bogart, and the film that they're spoofing on is called To Have and Have Not, which came out in 1944, and they were a real-life couple, and they stayed married until Humphrey Bogart's death in 1957. She would go on to live until 2014, and if you're an anime fan, she was actually in Howl's Moving Castle, in the English dub, of course. And if you're a fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, she was actually one of the bases for Jessica Rabbit. With the unfortunate blackface gag at the end, that refers to Eddie Rochester, who worked with Jack Benny on the Jack Benny Show. And of course, it also featured Mel Blanc there too.
My oh my! I can work for Mr. Benny now!
So this cartoon uses a lot of animation from She Was an Acrobat's Daughter, directed by Friz Freleng in 1937. But what's interesting is that some of the reused animation is actually reused for some funny gags, like here with the wolf having his legs moved. But more importantly, how Humphrey Bogart seems to be upset at this hippo for not sitting down. So, yeah, at least, okay, it's reused animation, but at least they did it pretty clever.
Beginning of the feature. If you want to see how it ends, sit down.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
The reference to Radar that we're about to see here is actually kind of interesting because Radar, even though it was developed before the war, it wasn't really full-on used until World War II, and the development accelerated much more during that time period. So of course the gag here is, of course, they're using it to track down the mother-in-law. Haha, right? This cow is awesome, by the way. And I love this Warmer News, which uses the MGM line for some reason. I don't know why they just decided to do that, and of course we see the wolf character here as someone's clearly stoned behind him. That pig with the blue tie. I just love looking at these background characters. In fact, if you ever get a chance to watch this cartoon, focus on some of the background characters. They're hysterical, I think.
Clampett had done a lot on The Big Snooze, but that cartoon wasn't really finished by the time Davis took over. Clampett had not done a lot on this cartoon, Bacall to Arms, and he had left Art Davis to finish the majority of the rest of it. Davis didn't really get Clampett's humor, if that makes sense, so he did what he could with what Clampett had done on this cartoon and gave the rest of Clampett's unfinished stuff, like Birth of an Ocean, to other directors, which is why Freeling ends up with Tweety Pie and why McKimson ended up with Birth of an Ocean. The reason for all the jump cuts and the reused animation in this one is probably just because Davis wanted to rush it out and rush it through production so he could get on to his own stuff, and also because, he just didn't think Clampett was really the funniest guy, and he didn't really understand a lot of the stuff he was putting in his own cartoons.
But what I think is interesting, because this is all rotoscoped, and there is a few moments of cartoony animation, but I would have loved to have seen some sort of a cartoon in this period done in this style, where it's like rotoscope, but not strictly rotoscoped, like some kind of a film noir type cartoon. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you would have loved to have seen a cartoon done in this style, like all the way through, just even as an experiment.
You have Old Glory.
Oh, yeah. Don't remind me of that one.
Personally, the biggest Clampett-ish part of this cartoon is the voice track, although there is a lot of cartoony animation like that. It's just so jumpy and it gets so confusing. But Clampett did supervise the recording session for this one before he left, and Clampett was always making guys like Mel Blanc overact in the scene so the comedy would be escalated, and you can really hear the energy in the lines in these cartoons a lot more than you can see the energy in the animation.
This one is perhaps an entertaining mess. Nothing really works in this one, but at least it has a few points that actually make it worth watching, such as the wolf animation, which is incredible, the wonderful Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall animation via rotoscope, and yeah, I've chuckled a few times, but yeah, it is kind of forgettable. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10, so there you go.
Yeah, it's a very sexually charged mess. You can kind of hear probably not even Carl Stalling knew what to do with this. So I like it for what it is. There's fun animation. I think the Frizz recycled footage doesn't really work, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's a fun sexual mess with an interesting history. Definitely a better history than something like, I don't know, Quentin Quayle or something, where there's hardly anything about it. But yeah, now if you get a chance to watch to buy the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 5, also listen to the wonderful Jerry Beck commentary as he elaborates a little bit more as well. So once again, thanks very much for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.